Alright everyone, here we are with ticker symbol WKHS Workhorse Group Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So, Workhorse Group Inc. has actually been in a bearish run. It's actually tried to hold itself up yesterday. Today it broke through support, broke through the 50-day moving average. The bulls tried to reappear, and it started to work its way down, and it ended the day at 27.36. I want every single investor to be mindful of the fact that this actually dropped. It hit a newer low here apart from the lowest point, right? And it brought itself back up, leveled off, but not quite 100% back leveled off. It's still slightly below it. It's still kind of a downward slant. And here with this drop, it's going to be very important to pay close attention to how this reacts. Now, I looked through different EV sectors to see, if they were all doing this. And I noticed, interesting enough, and NIO and Workhorse, I don't think they have any direct correlation or even indirect. I think they're completely two different sectors. When it comes to the market share of EV companies, Workhorse is focused on one thing and NIO is focused on another thing. But I tried going through all of them before making the video because when I saw this chart, it reminded me of NIO, and I did a video on NIO earlier. So if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. And I'm going to put the link down below on the video. But NIO had a drop and it brought itself back up and leveled off. And then I was like, whoa, I got to check this out, because are all the companies doing this in the EV sector, right? In the EV sector? And I was like, let me just double check. So NIO and Workhorse are the only ones I found. If you guys find another one that does that, you guys are more than welcome to comment down below that information. But I found it interesting. It's not that it has any correlation or anything to do with each other's chart. I just wanted to see if the EV sector as a whole had some influence of slight movement like this. I found it interesting to see that. But let's look at Workhorse here. So the highest point before the fall, this is one of the most important resistance levels, is $30. It's actually $29.99, but I like to just round it up to $30. Most important point to break through. $30 needs to be broken through. Now, the lowest point reached is $24.49. I'd write that down to keep that number in mind. Super important number. 49, 48, give or take. If you want to round it up to $24.50, you're more than welcome to, but in that area. Now, we just hit a newer low in between all of this, and this is $25.25. I'd write that down just to have it there and keep it in mind in the near term, right? To see how this is going and break down the chart. I'd write down the $30 mark, and then the $29 mark is super important as well. I think that that's the first step to get to the $30. This needs to be broken through. So I want every single investor to keep this number in mind, as well as the other numbers I just stated. Now, the 50-day moving average is 28.01. I'd write that down, keep that number in mind, pay close attention to how the stock's reacting, if it breaks through that, or if it stays below that, because if it gets broken through and we're above it, we're in bullish territory. If it continues to go lower, we are in bearish territory. We're currently broken through it, but let's see if it breaks through it in an upward direction. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move our support to a midway point between the lows that this has reached and also where it's at currently. And I'm going to explain why I want to use this as a support. Because our current support level is currently the price of the stock. It is not this support level here. This is something I would use, especially the way the chart was left off. And let's see here our resistance, right? Let's get this to the T here. Yeah, there we go. So currently the resistance level is way up here above the 50-day moving average. So if that gets broken through, the bulls have accomplished two things. They got into bullish territory and they're breaking away from it. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. But our support level is not this point here. 26.75. This is just a midway point within the lowest point before it runs up and reaching this high, which is our resistance, and it was rejected twice throughout the process. But this is a support level you can turn to see where this is going, and it could be a good midway point between the current support and the next support, which is pretty far at 25.25. That's a very broad spectrum. So at least this gives you a sense of direction. Are the bulls reappearing before this continues to go any lower, or do the bears get to break through this and pull further away from the 50-day moving average? Because our support level, due to the fact that this ran up, leveled off, and dipped in the last couple of hours, is actually the current price, 27.36. So if that gets broken through, you can see the behavior between 27.36, right, and 26.75 to see if this bounces back up or to see if this continues and breaks down below it. So I want every single investor to be aware of the fact that this is not a true support. The support is where it's currently at, but you can use it as a point of reference. So this is optional, 26.75. Now, our resistance is up here at 28.35. I highly recommend writing this down. This is the beginning catalyst of the bulls starting to gain slight control over the chart, but they need to break through it and pull away from it. They can't hang out around it. They can't miss it by a little bit, because breaking through the 50-day moving average does mean that we're back in bullish territory. But to start gaining leverage and pulling away from it to reach newer highs, new resistance levels, and start to work its way up to newer highs into bullish territory, 28.35 needs to be broken through and turn into a support so that this can continue to work its way up to newer highs, new resistance levels, and deeper into bullish territory and pull away from the 50-day moving average in an upward direction. So keep that in mind. I hope that with these cues, you guys are well equipped for tomorrow's trading day. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community. Don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watch this video. And thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money. At the end of this video, there's going to be a pop-up video, and in that video, I will be discussing about the S&P 500 index and how it's been rising several points on scheduled dates. As you see here on the graph, these circles are the dates that the pumps have happened, and I use them as examples to show you guys how much the stocks have risen, and the S&P 500 index rose on those dates. And the reason why it's rising is due to the fact that the Federal Reserve is pumping the markets. On these dates, the charts and the dates speak for themselves, as we can see it here, and I break it down into more detail in the video. But just to summarize it, on these dates, the S&P 500 rises, and there's individual ticker symbols rising up with it, anywhere from 30 cents to $3 per share. I know it may not seem like a lot, but per share that does add up. And these individual ticker symbols are giving you back profits. These are profits. And like I always say, profits are profits. Whether it's $1 put into the market and you get back $2, you've put in an initial investment and you got back more than what you started with. That's what it's all about. And also in the video, I go into further detail showing you guys these dates and showing you how much it rose. Like, for example, this was one of the last pump dates, and the lowest point that it reached was down here at 35.11, and the highest point reached was 35.57. That's like a 40-point jump. And here we're seeing the same thing. It went down to 35.88, and it rose up to about, I'd say, let's see, this is all still in the same day. It rose up to about a total amount of 36.23. When you do the math, that's almost a 40 to 50 point jump. And there's individual ticker symbols rising up with this. Now, I'm not there to guarantee you profits. I'm not there to tell you to buy, sell, or hold anything in particular. I'm just here to inform every single investor on the great news, on the opportunity to maximize profits and minimize losses. You have to do your due diligence and research, but these charts and the dates speak for themselves. I mean, this was probably one of the largest jumps that I've seen in the last couple of pumps. And it was down here at 33.02, and it rose up to about 33.88. That was an 80-point jump. There was probably ticker symbols rising up more than $3 per share on those dates. And even on these dates, there's individual ticker symbols rising more than $3 per share. Check it out. See for yourselves. And my best advice is look for ticker symbols that may be resembling the behavior of the S&P 500 index, and you'll be able to go ahead and give it a shot. Check it out. Again, I'm not there to tell you to buy, sell, or hold anything in particular. I'm not there to guarantee you profits. I'm just here to go ahead and share the information along with every single viewer and investor. The video should be popping up soon. If you haven't seen it already, pop up. There is the link down below in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.